Among the many incredible things that the retiring Rajasthan High Court judge MC Sharma said on Wednesday, his explanation for why the peacock was India's national bird was perhaps the most curious. India's national bird, he said, doesn't mate but produces offspring with its tears. That remark to back his observation that cows should replace the tiger as the national animal because it was also holy. Now, it's produced much hilarity on Twitter in the last 36 hours. But humor aside, should comments like this from a High Court judge seriously worry us? Does it raise larger questions about how judicial appointments take place? And are we as a nation falling for a discourse that centers around cow and peacock and beef as real issues get ignored? But first, in case you've been living in a cave these last 2 days, here's a reminder of what the learned judge said.
मोर कभी भी मोरनी के साथ उसको गर्भवती नहीं करता। मोरनी गर्भवती तभी होती है जब मोर आंखों के आंसू डालता है और मोरनी उसको चुग लेती है, उसके बाद वो प्रेग्नेंट हो जाती है। इसलिए मोर हमेशा ब्रह्मचारी होता है, इसलिए मोर को पंख को सब अपने सर पे रखते हैं। ये मोर ठीक इसी प्रकार जो गाय है, गाय जब भगवान कृष्ण आए तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले गोपाष्टमी में गाय को उतारा। गाय एक महत्वपूर्ण चीज है, इससे भौतिक, आर्थिक, सामाजिक, राजनीतिक, धार्मिक और सबकी स्थिति सुदृढ़ होती है। गाय के गोबर से आपका उद्धार होता है, गाय के दूध से विशेष प्रकार की बीमारियां समाप्त होती है, गाय के दूध में एंटीबायोटिक है, एंटीजेंस है, तरह तरह के विटामिन हैं। अभी जो भी वैद्य डॉक्टर्स होते हैं कहते हैं गाय के दूध से आप दें।
All right, you've heard from the man now, and just to take this forward, we're joined tonight by Rahul Ishwar, author and activist, Anubhav Pal, playwright, screenwriter, novelist and stand-up comedian, Karuna Nandi, advocate of the Supreme Court, and Professor Rakesh Sinha, our RSS ideologue, also joining us on the program tonight. Anubhav Pal, you heard the man. Let me quote some more quotable quotes to you. The cow through its horns absorbs cosmic energy. Cow dung is known to have killed cholera germs. The mooing of the cow kills pathogens in the air, and of course, peacock procreation happens through tears. Are you worried, Anubhav, that your role as stand-up comic could be usurped by the learned judge?
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. He's also retiring, so, you know, there is significant free time now, I think, to enter the world of comedy. But also, I think that this is I think to take a contrarian view, I think that more people in prominent positions should talk about the reproductive habits of animals. I think that it's not done enough. You know, I'd like the leader of the opposition to come out and talk about how he feels about giraffes. You know, I feel like that's a wide open space that's not discussed. And I think that the nation could benefit a lot. You know, if in addition to that they could occasionally like make bird noises or so on, you know, that those would be helpful, I think, to the national discourse. Also, I'm really interested to know what sort of question one asks a retired judge that leads to this response. I mean, I wonder if the media was asking him, sir, now that you're retiring, how do you feel about peacocks? You know, like I also don't know what starts this discourse.
You know, I want to put you straight over there. This was entirely his own thesis when asked about why he felt that, you know, cow slaughter shouldn't take place and the cow be declared a national animal. And he said the cow was just as holy as the peacock, which is a national bird. And when asked further as to why he considered the peacock holy, this was his justification. But be that as it may, Karuna Nandi, you know, jokes apart, and no doubt we're going to get a few of those from Anubhav tonight. Whether it's a Justice Karnan or a Justice Sharma, these are men who rule on matters of life and death. When personal observations and personal prejudices come into the formation of legal opinions, is this cause for worry?
You know, in the High Courts and the Supreme Courts, the way our constitutional structure exists means that, you know, there is also judge-made law, right? Which means that there is, of course, room for personal opinion. But the thing is that, I mean, and I think that's okay, because I think that, you know, when there are sort of a variety of circumstances, while following jurisprudence and judicial discipline is extremely important, there has to be some room for, you know, applying that law to the particular facts. But in terms of judging, I think that is fundamentally important. You know, the point that you're making, which is that at the moment the appointment process is opaque, it's limited, and there are lots of studies to show that people tend to appoint other people who are like themselves. And, you know, a lot of very credible, very good-hearted, equality-oriented judges have said over the years that women will rise and, you know, there will be representation from other castes, other religions, etc.
Right.
And as there are more
But it
people
ends up
in
being
that come
an
out of
old
law
boys
schools,
club.
that inevitably there will be more people in the judiciary. Yeah, but the thing is that there are lots of studies show that that doesn't happen on its own. Because people tend to appoint people that look like, that are like themselves. There's a very strong tendency to do that, right? Across the board, across the world.
Right.
The second thing is, of course, that there's a huge attrition rate because of the glass ceiling, right? So there's a way in which I think that the time is really ripe for judges, while the collegium system exists,
Yes.
to make quotas in their own minds and take affirmative steps to then achieve it and make it happen, you know?
Okay, but before we go on to, you know, further details of the collegium system, and of course that really is the crux of this debate tonight, I want to bring in Rahul Ishwar on the comments of this judge. You know, Rahul Ishwar, judges are meant to hold up laws, facts, science. How can a judge, when asked about this, when questioned about this further, say that myths are more important than science, or that science comes from religion?
We should definitely speak about, when we speak about judges, we should speak about them not with comedy but with only respect. And if you really want to go to comedy, I can also crack jokes about left liberal judge Markandeya Kadju, who is much more of a crackpot, who said Gandhiji is a British agent and Subhash Chandra Bose is a Japanese spy. So there are some people who can toe the extreme line. Let us, but definitely discuss with respect. First point, see, there are some references in mythology regarding that. They are more symbolic than scientific. I believe, even though I am strongly for cow protection, unfortunately Mahesh Sharma ji could have avoided that particular comment because it can be misconstrued in many ways. But the larger point of cow protection is more important. That particular usage was symbolically referred in some ancient text, but it was more of an understanding. You know, we can update and evolve. That is what we call Indianness and more scientific attitude towards culture and dharma or faith. We should evolve and adapt, and that comment can be ignored at best, because there is a larger
one thing,
question
Rahul Ishwar, I would want to point out that nobody on this program is using pejorative terms about Justice Sharma, and we also shouldn't be using pejorative terms about any other judge on the show either, regardless of what you may feel. But the crux of the matter is when personal opinions cloud judicial decisions, and in this case he keeps referring us back to his 189-page judgment in this matter, which was about a particular cow slaughter and cruelty to cows. These were operative parts of his decision-making process, clearly, in the matter. Do you think it calls into question, and Rakesh Sinha, maybe you can come into this also, does it call into question his previous judgments?
I am surprised that my ignorance should not be the reason for condemning something. Here, why do I say? Because the way you called, and some panelists called fiction about the cow dung and cow urine. Now, you know, the Panchagavya is now at United Nations level that is being experimented. Cow milk, curd, cow urine, cow dung, these means 5 elements, how they are useful. Scientifically, they are now proved. It is not the myth. It might be because it is some religious textbook, so it becomes myth. Till the date.
Where is this scientific proof, sir? Where is this scientific proof?
You go to, not need to have any great lecture, go to the internet and you will find how much the research on the cow dung, sanitation, look, scientific and sanitation.
Is that also something that has been scientifically proved, sir?
Ankita, because something I don't know, so I will make a joke of that is not the proper. You can have 100 of disagreement with the judge, but you cannot say that cow dung is scientifically and science and sanitation region.
Was he also scientifically correct, Professor Sinha, with due respect?
Let me complete, because I'm not talking the religion. I'm not talking the person who is saying that this is a fiction. Kindly, I'm full authority.
Let's talk about the GDP. Let's talk about the fact that gross domestic product has slowed down.
Kindly let
that
me
unemployment
complete. I have
is
not
down,
intervened.
that
I
the
have not
fact that,
intervened.
you know, there
Okay,
was
Karuna,
let me
Karuna, we'll come to that in a
your
moment.
ignorance.
I think,
economic
Karuna,
policy.
Karuna,
Let's talk about
kindly
that.
remove your ignorance. Kindly remove your
Karuna, there
ignorance.
is a
Get
lot to
enlightened.
be
Get
said
enlightened.
about whether we are discussing the real issues or not, and that's
Sir, you
something
may be
we
right
will
now
come
to
to.
cow
I'm
down.
talking
I'm just
about
saying
the
it's not
Panchgabbe.
relevant.
I'm talking about the Panchgabbe.
But-
And that
but-
Panchgabbe is at the United Nations level. Look,
Okay, Professor
in
Sinha,
Denmark, in Canada,
Okay.
in United States,
Okay,
there
even
are
if we
there are
accept your
researchers.
point
There are
about
researchers.
cow research,
Yeah.
what scientific proof is there that a peacock is celibate? I
No,
think
I'm not talking about, I don't have it, because that part I am unknown, so I cannot make a comment. But as for the cow milk, A2 milk, Indian variety of cows A2 milk, that is highly productive milk, highly for the health, pro-health purpose, and entirely it has been recognized at the United Nations level. Secondly, cow dung and the cow urine, both for sanitation purposes, medicinal purposes, they are utilized. In Ayurveda, cow urine and
and
cow
there is
dung both are
scientific
being
proof,
used.
sir, that it absorbs cosmic
Ma'am,
energy
go and close
through
all
its
the
horns.
Ayurvedic
Through its
shops in
horns.
this country. It is not the BJP regime. Ayurveda is not a one day something invented today. Ayurveda has a history of hundreds of years. And during the UPA regime, the
Ankita, my question is why are we talking so much
don't
about
make a joke
cows
or make
and
a
their
fiction.
Okay,
urine and
kindly
their
enlighten
dung
yourself.
and
Then come to
benefits? This
debate.
might be
Karuna,
true.
yes.
Just
Why
because
is it-
Yeah,
they are
alright.
the Indian
Please,
products,
please,
cow
please let
products,
us
then
speak.
you are
You-
condemning. This is a habitual condemnation of the things.
Karuna, go ahead.
You know, the problem with this entire conversation, right, is that A, it seeks to completely illegally, contrary to the Parent Act, while usurping, and since Anubhav is here, like may I say, usurping the state's powers in terms of what the states can decide versus what the center can decide, right? This is what the attempted rules are currently doing. So it's illegal. You know, according to me, the Madras High Court has stated. Let's see what the other High Courts
Kerala
state.
High Court said
According to
something?
me, it will not.
No,
and
Kerala
according
High
to a number
Court
of
today,
others, it will
Kerala High
not
Court yesterday,
withstand
Kerala High
judicial
Court
is not a
scrutiny.
ban.
Sir, kindly
Kerala
let me
High
finish.
Court.
Go-
It will not
kindly
withstand
don't
judicial
be
scrutiny.
selective.
According to me, it should not
And
withstand
laws
judicial
are being
scrutiny.
enforced
Right now, that's
because
one
slaughter,
thing. Now, the
illegal,
second
you support
thing
illegal
is that
slaughterhouses.
regardless,
you support illegal
why
slaughter
are
of the
these
cows.
people
That is
trying
that
to
is that is
impose
constitutional.
a sort of
But if
plain-
states
Sir,
have,
really,
have
please,
certain laws
kindly
about
let me finish.
slaughter,
Yeah.
then, you know,
Why
who
are
is to
these
say which
people
is legal
trying
and
to
illegal?
impose
Maybe it is the legal slaughter that is also being attacked
No,
at this
no, no,
point.
no. You can give me one instance that legal slaughter has been closed down. Give me
No,
one
that's a
instance.
separate issue.
Illegal slaughterhouses
Anyway,
are
we're
being
straying
banned.
away.
This
We're
is
straying away from the point at issue.
Cow smuggling
I
has
want
been
to
being
pick up.
attacked.
I want to pick up on something. Something that Karuna said. Are we as a nation now falling for a discourse that centers entirely around cow and peacock and beef? And are these the only talking points left? And I would say the media is equally guilty of this because we are having this discussion tonight. But are we being led away from
Absolutely.
a more serious discourse? And I want Anubhav to come in on this. Karuna, all of you.
Yeah, Ankita, I think that it is time.
Ankita, let's
I
not
think it
be
is
led
time
away
that,
on this. Anubhav, why don't you talk about the economy? Why don't you talk about the issues that are really important to the livelihoods
Who
of
stops
people,
media to
you
talk
know?
about the economy? Talk about
And
the
we have,
demonetization.
and we have, but-
If you have agenda to condemn the Hindutva, agenda to condemn the BJP government, then you are
But
free
are
to
you
condemn
saying,
it.
sir, then
Blowing
that
out
this
of
judge,
proportion, blowing everything out of
are you
proportion.
saying that this judge was then speaking on
No,
behalf
he
of
has-
Hindutva?
No.
He has democratic rights.
The
Let
point
him
is that
speak.
there are a
You
lot
want to
of
discuss,
people
you
who were
discuss.
willing
You
to
want
put
ignore
up
him.
with the oppression
There are
and the
hundreds of
Hindu
retired judges,
supremacy
they are speaking.
because there were promises
Rahul
of development,
rightly pointed
because
out
there were
one more
promises that
judge
the
that
economy
he is
would do
speaking every day
well.
about some
That
national
was the
figure.
trade-off a lot of people agreed to indulge in. However, neither of these have happened, you see. The problem is that we have the oppression and we have this image of, we have the sort of values of Hindu supremacy being foisted on
Where is?
many, those of us who are Hindu and those
What
others, whether
what
the
do you
people are
mean by
from the
Hindu
northeast,
supremacy? Kindly
whether people are
explain it.
Dalits, whether people are
I want to
Muslims,
enlighten
this
by
very limited, plain
this word,
version of
Hindu
your
supremacy.
Hinduism is being foisted
How?
on my
How?
Hinduism.
Kindly tell me,
You know,
kindly tell me,
Congress.
kindly explain me.
How to
kindly
dress,
explain me.
who to marry.
Have you
these
discussed
freedoms are
Aligarh
being
Muslim
impinged
University?
on.
No
So
lunch,
now
no
the
no
trade-off
breakfast.
Okay, okay.
And
That
today Times of
there would
India,
be
today Times of India
development.
reported now
GDP
they are
would
breaking
increase.
the tradition.
Unemployment
You will not
would
discuss.
decrease.
Was
None
it
of
a
that
Hindu
has
supremacy in
happened.
Aligarh Muslim
So the
University?
problem
Okay,
is,
sir,
I think
sir,
that
so
there's
let's
resentment.
not-
I think a lot of people, and there's rising resentment, sir.
Okay, okay.
You know?
Ankita, just
Yeah, come in,
In this
Anubhav.
regard,
I just want to
that
bring
the
in-
economy is not progressing. You know, that people
Okay,
are getting, are
right,
having a more
right.
difficult
We take
time
your
than
point.
they
We
were
take your
before.
point, Karuna. there are certainly other matters to discuss, and we end up talking about cow and beef day in and day out. Anubhav, yes.
Yeah, just two very quick points. I really think that for the cow, I think, everyone deserves their time in the sun. I think this is the cow's time in the sun. If cows could watch television, they're also seeing themselves and saying this is a good time to be us. I think page 3, all page 3s now should get a cow on there. And I agree with the gentleman, if the cow scientifically has done these things at the United Nations, there is no way they can deny us a seat in the Security Council, because I think that is an important topic.
Are you doing
I think
panel
if
discussion
the
or
cow
you are
is
making a joke?
scientifically...
Kindly don't use such language. Your ignorance is not the reason for this should not be a reason for debate. Do you know what is Panchagarbhi? Do you know the importance of Panchagarbhi?
I'm agreeing, sir.
And cows should be in the
agreeing.
Security Council.
Just one point.
I don't use such terms nonsense, but you are talking
Sir, if
just
you
like
want
nonsense.
to
Okay, let's
indulge
go
in the
back to
practice,
what?
nobody has any objection to it. You must understand this, that if you
They
or
are
anyone
medically
else
proved.
wants to
Importance of
indulge
cow
in this
milk,
practice
A2 milk
that you
is
are
medically
describing, it's
proved,
fine.
scientifically proved.
There's no problem with
Cow
it. You're
dung's
missing the
importance has
point
been
here.
proved. Cow urine's importance has
But
been
fine, okay,
medicinal
maybe,
values
maybe
has been
not.
proved. And you are
We're just
joking
saying
that
it's
he
not
should
very
get cows should get the
All right, I want
place in
Rahul
United
Ishwar also to come in.
Security
Yes.
Council.
Just one line.
Yes.
Just one line.
Yes, go
Indira
ahead.
Gandhi's election symbol and election slogan was vote for calf and cow, forget all others now. Even the secular Congress party's party symbol was cow and calf. That much important is cultural, dharmic sentiments of Indians in that. 1857 war for independence was triggered by cow. Gandhiji said Swaraj is, cow protection is as important as Swaraj for me. Article 48 was inserted by the greatest Dalit icon, which called for prohibition of cow slaughter. So let us not ridicule a subject that is close to the heart of a billion people. There is a cultural sentiments. We all agree that some kind of a balancing middle ground should be found. That's the reason why Kerala High Court went on record to say that these protests are premature. Government is only regulating this stuff. At least spare us the ridicule. Please respect the sentiments of a billion people regarding cow and calf, or at least let us respect. There was an old secular Congress party which used to respect cow and calf, and that's the reason why Rahul Gandhi went on record to say that
All right,
what
all right.
happened in Kerala.
Rahul
cutting
Ishwar,
the
Rahul
head of a,
Ishwar, all
poor
we're
animal
asking on
just
this
for
program
political purpose
tonight
back.
is that we accept that certainly this is about sentiment, but does there or does there not have to be a difference between sentiment and the law? And Anubhav, we haven't talked enough about the peacock tonight. It's been hijacked by the cow as always. But a last comment. Yes, Karuna, you had a last comment.
It's not about the Congress party. It's not actually, if you look at it, it's not even about the protection of the cow, because it's the steps that are being taken will take away the incentives for farmers, the economic incentives for farmers to take care of their cows. The farmer, the main people who have been taking care of them, not the Gau Gundas, the so-called Gau Rakshaks, who are rampaging around, killing people and not actually taking care of any cows. So what is happening is that in the name of, even since we must talk about cows, in the name of the cow, people are being killed. Let us make the human the national animal.
Okay. Also, it's a larger question of jobs, livelihoods, the leather industry. If a poor farmer with a cow can't sell it, can't feed it, what is the solution? We are also heading to a point.
Ankita, I come from the community life in villages.
Okay.
I know the relationship between cow, calf and the farmer. After cow stop giving milk, the price of the cow is 4,000, 5,000. And present economic condition does not get uplifted by 5,000 rupees.
Yes.
And there is an emotional relationship with cows. And
yes,
the,
but there
and
may
the
be
family.
an emotional relationship, but there has to be an economic...
They don't directly sell to the butchers. That's why they use what we in India we know that we don't call a market. In villages we call it Pashu Mela.
Yes.
We call it Pasu Mela.
Yes,
and
yes.
these slaughterhouses use this Pasu Mela to purchase the cows and oxen. That's why.
So that's why it's a crackdown on those.
This is not a restriction on slaughterhouses, legal slaughterhouses. This is a restriction on.
We've moved very far away.
Using your one anecdotal story to generalize to the entire country.
This is moved also very far away from the peacock tonight, which was where we began.
Is that?
I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up tonight.
Plains experience, one story from somewhere suddenly becomes policy.
Yes,
you
yes,
see, all over
yes.
the country, imposed on the northeast,
Kindly
imposed
go
in
villages,
Kerala.
Okay,
talk to
okay,
farmers,
okay,
in
okay.
Bengal.
As always,
when this is
as
remark
always, the
on
cow
farmers.
seems
story
to
in
stir up
one village,
sentiment
in one
and TV
Pashumila.
debates equally.
You know?
I want to end tonight by saying that, to go back to what the judge said about peacocks, Charles Darwin had said the sight of peacock tails made him sick. It isn't quite clear how he would react to Judge MC Sharma's observations on the board. In the meantime, of course, Twitter can't stop laughing, but perhaps at this point, particularly after this debate, perhaps the joke's on us.